Assalamu alaikum, hello and namaste. Welcome to another inspiring episode number 56 of the Limelight. Today on the hot seat, we have a very charismatic personality. Her name is Ishma Qadir. She is an independent representative of QI group of companies. She is into direct selling industry from past 3 years. Assalamu alaikum, Ishma. How are you doing today?
Walaikum assalam, Fari. Alhamdulillah, I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine, and it's a privilege to have you on our show.
Thank you so much. The pleasure's all mine.
Okay. Ishma, before we go ahead regarding our questions of investment, can you please introduce yourself to our listeners?
Sure. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to actually tell people about what I do and what kind of investments or businesses you're in. You can, put yourself into and grow as a person. So my name is Ishma Qadir, and I was introduced into the direct selling industry by none other than my father. And when I was introduced into the industry, my father was new too. Okay. So he was totally clueless. I did not know anything about the direct selling industry and how it works. When I got into the industry and when I started learning, I got to know so much about the industry, the good and the bad. Basically, a lot of things that you hear from people are mostly negative because those are opinions, right? People who are outside the pool, in the pool, who are not swimming in the pool. Like when you talk about investments, there are a lot of things that you invest in. Mostly is in the form of trading. So let's say Bitcoin, for example, it's an investment, right?
Right.
So it's always up and down. When I started the business, I mostly heard about investment. Then I learned that when you start up a business is an investment. Investment is something totally different than your startup cost for business. It's called a startup cost when you start something of your own and you have to work on it. You have to work really hard. You have to learn. You have to unlearn what you already, previously knew because it's a new industry you're getting into. But when getting into, let's say, investments, it's something totally different because you put in money and you wait. Over here in the business industry, what you do is you put in a startup cost, then you learn and you work on it. The issue is with a lot of people, they think like, you just put in money and you have to, you'll just have money coming in, which is totally wrong. To become successful anywhere, you have to work.
Yeah, that's totally right.
Day in and day out, right?
Yeah, right.
Like let's say direct selling industry is also called network marketing industry. Think that network marketing industry is somewhere where you pull in people and you make them put money and that's it, which is wrong. So whenever you get into the direct selling industry, you always have to do your homework. I was lucky that my dad was there, so I followed him blindly. I was like, okay, he's doing it, I'll support him, let's do it. But then because at that point of time I was just a homemaker, and mashallah, they're 8 and 5 now. The one was hardly 2 at that time. It was tough. My older one was a little independent. He was school going, but my younger one wasn't. It was something just do it and see. Let's do it on this side. But when I actually started developing interest, when I saw people who are super successful, when I saw people who have made so much money, who are actually millionaires now. So when I started meeting them and I started, communicating with them and learning the business, that's when I decided that, this is what I want to do. This is my calling. It's very important to know what your calling is in life because we live a life where we are content with getting married, our husband doing all the work, taking care of the house and the kids, and we think we're fine.
Yeah.
Right.
So we
So
have to take initiative also.
yes, you have to. So at a point of time in your life, you have to realize, or if you're lucky enough to realize that you get something, and it is calling, it is what you want to do.
Yeah.
So the main thing about the direct selling industry that people think, the misconception, put in money and you will start getting returns. It is not the case. Always when you're getting into a direct selling industry or a network marketing company, you always have to see that the money you put in, you should get your value of money instantly in the form of a product or a service. So that way, whatever business you're doing with the company in the future, it's kind of free because you have anyway put in your money and you got a product or service worth your money. Because at the end of the day, if you're collaborating with a company and you're working with them to generate profits, to know what the products are, you have to have knowledge of, what they're selling. So until unless you use the product or service, it's like, you're doing everything in the air, not something like tangible, not something realistic for you. So when you use the product and service and you find it beneficial for you or your family, that's the first point. So whenever you start with any network marketing company or any company in the direct selling industry, you
Mhm.
should always do product or service for yourself. And then the
Right.
business comes later. The
Mm-hmm.
business comes when you have a mentor, you have a guide who's already successful and
Mm-hmm.
growing, is teaching you how to grow in the business.
Yeah, absolutely right. So, can you just tell us what are the different kinds of investment if we want to go ahead and invest?
Okay, like I said, that investment and business startup are something totally different. Business requires work. It's
Yeah.
a startup always. It's not an investment. You have to work on it because if you want to grow to a business person, to work on it. You cannot sit and invest and wait for the returns. How many people do we know can afford investing? Because investment happens in millions and
Mm.
billions. It doesn't happen with a mere 15, 20,000 or 25,000 dirhams,
Right,
right?
right,
That
exactly.
that would be startup cost for a business. And the best thing about direct selling industry is that it has made more millionaires, than any other industry right now. But the thing is, they invested
Mm-hmm.
millions in companies,
Yeah.
and not everybody can afford that. Most of the people can't afford that. Like the stock market going up and down, the shares and everything, a lot of things involved. I mean, Bitcoin, and there's so many other names for it, right?
Yeah.
And not every coin is worth investing in, am I right?
Yeah, exactly.
But then
True.
said it's an up and down thing. But
Mm.
when you're working on a business and when you put money into a business startup where you have, support from people who are going to help you grow and who are going to help you become successful, it's a win-win situation. You
Yes.
hardly put in any money, you get a product worth your money, and then you to learn and follow from the people. It's just like copy pasting. It's the
Yes.
easiest thing. So it's different to invest into something and start up a business because the startup cost is always, less, and
Mhm.
it's affordable compared to investing.
Okay. Now, Ishma, can you just tell what about investing in gold? Because these days, we, especially ladies, try to stack and get a lot of gold, and we think it is investment for our daughters and generations to come. So, what is your opinion on that?
Okay, I'll tell you something really amazing that I read from a very famous author of, you might have heard of him,
Hmm.
Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah,
He's a successful business owner, right?
yeah.
He's in real estate and so many multiple businesses. One of his books, The Cash Flow Quadrant, he had given a very good description about, what is an asset and what is a liability. And we generally think that gold is an asset in terms of, like you said, investing in gold.
Mm, yeah.
In simple terms, he has defined that whatever puts money into our pocket is an asset. And whenever money goes out of our pocket, it's a liability. Say about your car. Now that I've bought a car, obviously on finance, we hardly see people buying things on cash, especially brand new stuff. Maybe, a second-hand car or a used car we can buy on cash because it costs less and we have saved that much. Mostly when you buy a zero-meter car, it's
Mm.
brand new, you cannot afford to buy it on cash. So you've bought a car on
Mhm.
finance. Now the car is yours. Is it an asset or a liability?
Liability.
Why is that?
Because we are using the car, right? It's not generating any money.
Not not just that. You're using the car every day, the the maintenance, the registration, all those monthly costs. Every 3 months or 6 months, it goes for passing or whatever. One thing I forgot to add in all this is that when you're using like a house or a car, the value depreciates with time.
Yeah, true.
So even if you're going off to sell it, you won't get the exact amount that you got it for, or not even a little bit more, for lesser amount. That's because the value depreciates. It lessens with time. Let's say you got the car and you have given it for rent. You've rented out the car for carpool or whatever. People do a lot of things to earn money. So even if you got it in finance, you're paying it from that rent money. Even though the value depreciates, you're still not paying anything out of your pocket for the car. Person who is using the car for his rentals or pickup service or carpool, he's
Mhm.
putting the gas in your car with his money in your car, and he's getting some money out of it, and maybe that person would pay you some royalty for using your car, but that
Mhm.
is still coming into your pocket and you can pay the installments of your car with that money.
Yeah.
So it's an asset because money is coming into your pocket. So
Mm-hmm.
when you have invested in gold and you have gotten gold, let's say for your daughter's marriage or for your
Mm-hmm.
son or whatever, it's
Mm.
just there. It's neither an asset or a liability. It's
Ah,
just,
okay.
and you will use it because asset is not something which you have bought for money and it'll give you, and you can just keep it there because it is just something you invested in and you have kept it, you have saved it. Now,
Okay.
let's say if you've taken a locker in the bank to save it, then it's a liability, right? Because the money is going out of your pocket for, for the locker,
Locker, yeah.
yeah, for the safety
Yeah.
charges. So, if at a good time, maybe you might sell gold at a better price, then it can be an asset.
That was really, very informative.
Thank you so much. And I tell you what, my gold was an asset for me because when
Mhm.
I the business, very normal person, a middle class person like every other person, I didn't have money to start up my business. The gold that I had, I sold it off to start my business. An asset for me.
Okay, now I have something interesting for you. It is called the rapid fire round.
Okay, great.
So, first one I'll ask is, who is your favorite actor?
My favorite actor. Oh my God, that's a tough one. I've got many,
You
favorite
have many
actors.
favorites.
I've got many, mostly American.
Okay.
What's that guy who is in Sherlock Holmes? Oh my God, I forgot his name. Iron Man, the guy.
Yeah, even I forgot his name, but his acting is really nice.
He's amazing. He's
Yeah.
amazing.
Mm. Okay, that
And
guy.
the guy from Jared Leto. Jared Leto also.
Oh, okay. Good one.
He's gone. He's passed away, but Heath Ledger was my favorite.
Okay. My second question is, if God gave you one wish, what would you wish for?
If God gave me one wish, what would I wish for?
Yeah.
Hmm. I would wish to come back and make things right that I couldn't in this lifetime. You know what?
Like a
Because
second chance.
a second chance on life. You know why?
Yeah.
Uh, Let me just stretch this a bit because I know it's
Mm.
rapid fire. I really want
Yeah.
to, give people the maximum benefit of this interview. There are certain things that we learn from our childhood. And sadly, the thing is that everybody learns it the same way. This is how we should go to school, get a better education, learn, and have the maximum degrees possible, and successful, right?
Yeah.
Which success is mostly passion.
True.
Most of the successful people that you've seen, like Steve Jobs, like uh, Einstein, like
Mm.
Thomas Edison, like Mark Zuckerberg, like
Mm.
how good are they? They don't
Yeah.
have degrees, but they're still successful. Why? Because their passion drove them. The passion not just to become successful, but or to make a name. The passion to actually make a difference in your own life. Because at the end of the day, this is just one life that we have, right? Why not
Yes.
make it right?
Yeah, true.
Need a
Right.
second chance to actually learn, to actually have that, the same kind of knowledge that I have right now and
Mm.
make things myself. Maybe I would have become successful much faster.
At a very early stage, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That was a good answer. Now, the third question is, if you were to meet one female celebrity, who would it be?
I would love to meet Oprah, not just because of her, the name she has made, but for the difference she has made in people's lives. The way she has empowered women, that's amazing. As a woman, I can say, at one point of time, when I was just a homemaker and a mother, and the only thing I did was, cook, clean, and take care of my studies. It was something worth a lot, obviously, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, it
but
is
then
like,
it made me feel very incomplete. Because with time, when we get married and when we have kids, forget that we had dreams once too.
yeah,
We want to become something once too. It takes a back seat, right?
yeah, exactly. Okay, my last question is, describe yourself in one word.
In one word,
Yeah,
integrity.
okay, that's nice.
Thank you.
That was the end of the rapid fire round.
Which didn't happen to be a rapid fire because it was quite.
But it was interesting to know the explanation for your answers.
So much.
You're welcome. So we have headed to the last segment of our show, advice to our listeners.
There are a lot of advice that I would love to give to men and women, but mostly women. The advice comes from a very close place in my heart because that's how I followed my heart. As a businesswoman, I know that if you think that you can play safe and start a business, it's a delusion. Okay? You might fail, you might succeed. And there's a very good saying by Henry Ford that if you believe you can and if you believe you can't, either way, you're right. So to make something successful is in your hand. And even if you make something fail, it's in your hand.
Yeah.
It's very easy for us as human beings to be distrustful because of this age of social media and people only interacting with people online
Mm-hmm.
is because it has made people so distant with each other that people have forgotten how to trust. And it's sad to know that because of that one thing that people think that, putting money into something, maybe it'll work for me or not. Because see, you make things your cup of tea. Maybe a 10th grade student or a 10th grade dropout like Ambani, who would have thought he would have his own petroleum industries? It was not his cup of tea. He didn't know a thing about, petroleum, but he made it happen. It was not his cup of tea, but he made it his cup of tea.
Right.
So everything depends upon us. All you have to do is open your eyes, look at the opportunities, and I'm sorry I'm using this word, but it's sad that people become so stupid and they try to save the limited amount of money that they have,
Mm.
is that they, back out from great opportunities that they get. All you need is a platform and a successful growing mentor to guide you through. Alone, we cannot make things happen. We need a team. We need people to guide us. We need someone to guide us. Follow your heart, follow your dreams, because all the success, all your dreams are fulfilled from the other side of fear.
Yeah, true. Follow your heart, go with passion and dedication, and surely,
What
success will be yours. Ishma, it was really nice to know you personally, and especially I got to know a lot of things regarding business, investing. I thank you so much for giving your precious time and doing this interview with us.
Thank you so much. I'm glad of being help to you and to other people who will be able to listen and learn from this. And thank you for the opportunity to, help me to put my heart out.
You're always welcome. Okay, listeners, if you have liked this episode, please click on the like button of the Limelight page. Thank you for listening, and Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.